A community overcome with emotion in Yonkers today. A funeral is being held for a teacher killed in a murder-suicide that has rocked the city. Dozens stood in silence, wiping away tears as the church bells rang and the bagpipes played, while the two coffins carrying 47-year-old Arlene O'Neill and 54-year-old Sean O'Neill were carried inside, and the three young boys following behind. It was a week ago today when police say Arlene was shot and killed by her husband in the couple's home. He then turned the gun on himself. So many were there today, and that the church is overflowing, and some have had to stay outside during services.
Here in Yonkers, we have this wonderful Crestwood community. It's a very close-knit community. This has shook them to the core. You know, you have three innocent little babies. Leave it in God's hands and be there to support these kids.
In addition to the many mourners, Timothy Cardinal Dolan was also there to take part in the mass. Fundraising efforts for the boys are also underway, and a GoFundMe page is already at almost $800,000. Well, if there is one thing New York City is known for, it's street vendors selling everything from delicious food to souvenirs. But this November, one ballot measure may change all that. There are several measures up for voters to choose, including Proposition 2, which would give the mayor wider authority to crack down on street vendors and even create a new department to do it. The measure would give sanitation police throughout city parks increased authority to shut down stands like this one, in addition to NYPD and park enforcement who already have that authority. Street vendors like Sonia Perez of Bushwick, who have been waiting 25 years to get a permit, they are speaking out against that proposal.
Nuestra identidad.
You'll see more street vendors struggling, and I've always said that if you see a city without any street vendors, this is a dead city.
And she's teaming up with advocates from the street vendor projects, calling for more permits, not cops, to fix the system, saying getting vendors under control will mean making permitting a reality for all those already selling without one. In New Jersey, funeral services for the NJ Transit train operator who died on the job are happening today. Last Monday, 41-year-old Jessica Haley was operating the train when a tree crashed through the windshield. The public had their first chance to share concerns with NJ Transit in a public meeting last night. Officials say they plan to make the transit system safer and more reliable, and they also plan to build half of their fleet over the next few years and pour $19 million into new projects. They also mentioned additional staffing, which they've already started working on. Riders maintain the trains are often unreliable.
It's hard to get to work on time when you're depending on the train.
The big thing is going to be, are they going to come up with answers to the concerns?
NJ Transit wouldn't comment on open investigations. The agency mainly referred to the rail crash that killed Haley and left 23 injured. Haley had been a light rail operator for 20 years. She was a single mom of 3. A preliminary report from the NTSB is expected in about 3 weeks. A new report is highlighting water quality on Long Island. More than 50 locations have had water quality impairment since the spring. That's according to the 2024 assessment done by one Stony Brook professor. So this means the water in those areas do not meet state or federal standards. It was also a record-setting year for harmful algae blooms and dead zones across the island. Researchers say this is due to increased levels of nitrogen.
Fortunately, the news is not good.
Too much nitrogen entering our water bodies from groundwater and surface water. For this area, mostly from on-site waste disposal systems.
And the report also says that the dead zone in the Long Island Sound has shrunk more than 60% in the past 25 years, thanks to reduced nitrogen levels. Throughout the month of October, we are introducing you to breast cancer survivors. Kimberly Johnson found a lump on her breast in April of 2020, but because of the COVID-19 restrictions, it took her months to get an appointment. And when she finally did, the doctors told her that her cancer was very aggressive.
She said, "You really have to pray." She said, "I don't know that this is treatable." And in that moment, I was just like speechless.
Well, after she was diagnosed, she went through almost 2 years of treatment. Because of restrictions, she was only able to have one person with her during chemotherapy. Overall, she says she always felt safe at the hospital. And you can hear more of her story and from her doctors tonight at 5 p.m. Two of the most iconic teams in baseball battle it out in Game 1 of the World Series on Friday. The New York Yankees versus the Los Angeles Dodgers, of course. The West Coast, East Coast matchup is one baseball fans have been waiting to see again since 1981. That's a long time. All this excitement also means crowds and traffic, especially with construction going on around Yankee Stadium. But one longtime vendor tells us that's good for business. Game 1 is Friday, October 25th at 8:08 p.m. and Bronxites will have to brace for those crowds on Monday when the Yankees host the Dodgers for Game 3. Join News 12 New York for our exclusive true crime series, Crime Files, as we feature stories told by the victims, the police, and the journalists who lived and survived some of the region's most notorious crime cases. Followed by Revealed, another News 12 exclusive that takes you on an immersive journey through the most iconic landmarks across New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. It all begins tonight at 7:30. From movie stars locking lips on New York City streets to floating jack-o'-lanterns and even pickle sandwiches. Here's what's trending on 12.
Hey y'all, I'm Noelle Lilly. Here's what's trending now on 12. Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow caught kissing in New York City? Well, hey y'all, it's not a new couple alert. They're actually just filming for a new movie. It's called Marty Supreme. Now, it's loosely based on the life of professional ping pong player Marty Reisman, played by Chalamet. So if you live on the Lower East Side, maybe you can sneak onto the set. They're filming in your neighborhood. And hey, there's a new way to see New York City high above the skyline. Top of the Rock has just unveiled their newest attraction, Skylift. This kind of reminds me of those spinning carnival rides where your back is stuck against the wall. But this one, you're gonna feel like you're floating in the clouds. It's high above the 70th floor with a rotating platform and a great photo op spot. 'Tis the season. Spectacular nights are here in our city. This Wednesday, Central Park's annual Pumpkin Flotilla will light up the lake with glowing jack-o'-lanterns. Bring the whole family and, of course, your own carved pumpkin to join in the parade. Well, they're salty, they're crunchy. Now the pickle has folks lining up from all across the tri-state for a sandwich that's gone viral. Throw the bread away and try this out. It first went viral from Seven Brothers Gourmet in Oceanside, but you can check it out on Staten Island as well as all across the city and state. But of course, I'm a big pickle fan. I can drink it straight from the jar, pickle juice, that is. So maybe I'll try it myself. For now, I'm Noelle Lilly. That's trending on 12.